Hi everyone, Chris Sawyer here. The Varietal Show is back, and I am here with my great friend Mike Sullivan. Mike, great to see you.
Chris, it's great to be here.
We've got the amazing Benovia wines, and this is it's got a big place in my heart being here because we're actually in Russian River Valley, and this is where I grew up as a kid. And Mike, you grew up in this area too, and here we go.
Absolutely.
Look at us now. We were just playing on BMX bikes back there in the old days and down the creek. And when you go to Russian River, you used to go swimming and stuff instead of like looking over the new clonal material that's been planted across the river and things like that. But here we are.
Yeah.
You know, not bad. This is the Benovia Winery, which is located right off Piner Road, which is kind of an old schools district for Piner High School. In the old days, you went to Cardinal Newman, which is right over there against the hillside, and I grew up kind of in the Larkfield Wickiup area. And so it's kind of crazy that we feel like the wine industry grew up around us. You know, when we were kids back in the 70s and the early 80s, doing all the crazy punk rock stuff and having fun with crazy dance music in the 80s. But here we are today talking about great wines from Russian River Valley and from Sonoma County overall. You know, we've got a great auction coming up, and this is the Barrel Auction that's going to be so amazing, done by the Sonoma County Vintners. And, you know, there's over 215 members of this organization. And Mike, you and the winery are part of this organization that really supports not only what you do here in this vineyard, but also, you know, Sonoma County as a whole. You know, what's it been like for you as going off to college and becoming a winemaker and coming back here? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the evolution of the industry has been amazing. You know, there were always vines in the Russian River Valley, but not nearly what's been planted today. Certainly different varietals as we go back to the, 70s and 80s, and today it's evolved. We're very honored to be part of the Sonoma County Vintners Barrel Auction. It's going to be taking place between March 5th and March 7th in 2021, and this is the 7th anniversary.
7th anniversary of this amazing auction. And, you know, I've been to pretty much all of them. It didn't really happen last year on the scale that we wanted it to. But definitely that was a pandemic situation, and that's why this one's going virtual. And so the main focus on this is trade. So it's kind of an interesting thing when you think about that. Why would it benefit us if it just goes to trade? Trade meaning sommeliers, restaurateurs, retailers, super collectors, or people that develop these kinds of collections for buyers. So it's an interesting thing, but when you really think about it, those restaurateurs and those retailers are exactly who we're talking about. They could benefit all of us. And you've got a special lot in there, don't you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. It's a unique opportunity. When we started this 7 years ago, the concept was never before, never again. So each lot was unique and distinctive and was not going to be reproduced. And we've been doing that for the last 6 years. This year we opened it up just a little bit. And we're offering some library releases as well. For ourselves, we're doing a 5-case barrel auction, lot number 5. That's a single clone, Mount Eden selection from our Cone Vineyard, the northern edge of Russian River Valley. Really exceptional property, lots of minerality, worn cobblestones, and this rocky hillside. Really exceptional wine.
Yeah, I've been up to this vineyard. It is crazy cool. It's actually one of the strangest as far as where it is located, because it's actually not in the Russian River Valley. It's kind of above the Russian River Valley. It's kind of on the edge of being Sonoma Coast. It's its own being. And it's got some good history too, right? The sisters who planted it originally were kind of old school people. They had different opinions on wine, didn't they?
They did, yeah. So they planted the vineyard in 1970. So the 2020 vintage that we're offering in the barrel auction is the 50th anniversary of the vineyard, which is really exceptional. 50-year-old vines in Russian River, 50-year-old Pinot Noir vines are really unique. And the two ladies that planted it, one loved Pinot and the other loved Zin, and they planted a little bit of each.
Well, isn't that great? I mean, what a great place to come to if you're going to plant Pinot or Zin. Come to Sonoma County because they both work here, especially Russian River Valley and the edge kind of Dry Creek right there, it's very close to Dry Creek too. I mean, you're kind of almost looking down from it. Very interesting soils there. very cobbly, pushed up. It's the old tectonic plates that went underneath the ocean and pushed up these mountains, and it's amazing up there.
Yeah, it's super cool. And the wine translates through to the wine with lots of minerality. And those old vines give the wine this amazing texture and depth.
Yeah, great. So since we're on topics here about Chardonnay here, Russian River, very well known for Pinot Noir. Also, those old vines, Zinfandel vines that we used to play with, when we were kids. That's kind of what we used to see the most of out here was old vine Zinfandel when we were kids, growing up in the 70s. If there was Pinot and Chardonnay, chances are it was being sold to Corbel and some other producers like that just made kind of more bulk style wines. But it's starting to change a lot, and Chardonnay has come a long ways. People think about Chardonnay, they think about Russian River Valley.
Absolutely, yeah. There were a number of heritage wineries that started and really made Chardonnay famous. Sonoma County in 1981, of course, was a big one, and then Chardonnay's evolution has really brought attention to the varietal, and it grows so well in Russian River Valley and produces very distinctive wine. Yeah,
it's the cool climate here. So this is the one area where you can really grow some Zinfandel, but it's got to be in these special places where the fog actually breaks a little bit earlier than the others. But here you've got a nice little sub area right here. What would we call this area?
Yeah, so the Russian River is really broken out into 5 distinct neighborhoods, and we're sitting in the Santa Rosa Plains neighborhood, which is one of the largest, and it's located almost in the center of the Russian River Valley. And it's defined by some of the undulating plains and lowlands just west of Santa Rosa, between Santa Rosa and Sebastopol. Very distinctive climatically in terms of, it's not too hot, it's not too cold. And then the soils are distinctive in that they're both sedimentary from volcanics and from marine sedimentary. So it's a nice combination of both those soils.
Amazing. And the airflow here is dynamic. Once the fog does break, it kind of comes in along the river side this way, because the mountains are directly behind us here, going due west, and they can't penetrate directly in here, so it's got to find its way in, and it kind of comes through also what we call the Petaluma Gap, and especially the Green Valley part that kind of pushes it in from the south side, and then you've got it coming in from the north, and that's why Santa Rosa Plains is so cool, because it's coming in from these different angles, and you're right here, kind of right in the center. This really is the center right here.
The bullseye of the Russian River.
Yeah, it's here in Olivet Lane, which is right behind us too, and that's kind of where I grew up too, is on Olivet Lane and those kinds of old times. But it's not that far to the Russian River, actually. If we just drive that way, it's about less than 10 minutes. We'd be on the banks of the Russian River, and so that's how close we are. Chardonnay's done really well. You make a sparkling wine with this, don't you?
We do, yeah. So we produce a sparkling from our estate, and the versatility of the varietal in Russian River is pretty unique. I think that it's cool enough to get mature flavors and minerality from sparkling wine translated through to still wine. And this is our Martell estate. This is the vineyard on the winery.
Right.
Has this transparency, really pretty, very floral, lots of citrus fruits, but it has a lot of complexity as well.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. Now Pinot Noir is a different story altogether. It's a little bit hard to work with this grape. It wants to be your friend, but it makes you work. And the thing is, it's very delicate. You think that, it's a hard one, but, I always call you and Jeff Stewart, our other great friend, Jeff Stewart, the Twin Towers. You guys, you're big guys, but yet you have to work with these very delicate grapes. Is it hard?
Yeah, Pinot Noir is the heartbreak grape, and it really only grows in a few places in the world to produce a wine that's distinctive and expressive, very thin-skinned. It's susceptible to mildew and rot and problems through the growing season, but what it produces is a wine of power and transparency, and it just captures your imagination.
That's amazing. So great example right here. Which one is this that you poured for me?
This is our 2018 Russian River Valley Pinot Noir. So
Okay.
This is a blend of all 3 of our estates.
That's great. So this is a complete blend right here. And people that come to the auction when it happens here for the past 5 years before this the pandemic hit, really got to just enjoy what the lifestyle is here in Sonoma County. And it's a little bit different than Napa in that it's just, you start to understand that this is a very broad county. It goes all the way from the Mayacamas Mountains on that side, which is east, to all the way to the ocean this way. It's 3 times as big as Napa Valley. And so when we talk about these kinds of areas, we're talking about a lot of different points. And it's not like driving down Highway 29 this way or Silverado Trail this way. You got to have a real map out to get around this area.
Yeah. It's a large geographic area, and there's a lot of undulations in terms of elevation, exposure. As you talked about with some of the fog penetration, either through the river or through the Estero Gap, there's a lot of microclimates in Sonoma County, and the Russian River has many little microclimates within these 5 neighborhoods.
That's great. 2019, this amazing area as a whole, Sonoma County won the best wine growing region in the world from the Wine Enthusiast. I mean, what a great honor.
It was a huge honor. Yeah, and it was great recognition of a world-class wine growing area that I think is coming into it certainly has come into its own, but I think looking to the future, there's so much potential with new producers and rediscovering varietals that have been here. I think for consumers, there's a lot happening in Sonoma County, and they need to check it out.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun to just sit here and taste this with you. It's beautiful, and I think that we'll get into these other ones in a few minutes, but I think for now, we should give a cheers to everyone, and thank you for being part of the Varietal Show once again, and be supportive of these great producers like Benovia and the other ones that belong to the Sonoma County vintners and all the growers too. I mean, let's give it. It's not just the vintners, but the people that grow these grapes are amazing, and we've gotten so many opportunities to see these. So, cheers to that.
Cheers, Chris. Absolutely.
Cheers.